Hi everyone, welcome back to Korean Weekly Words. In this video, we'll be talking about top 10 Korean foods. 국수, wheat flour noodles. 국수, wheat flour noodles. In Korea, when there's a festival, this is the main dish that you can try. Traditionally, 국수, the wheat flour noodles, was the main dish for party. Like instead of having a lot of meat and everything, in the past, people shared the noodle for celebrating someone's birthday or a big event of a family. So in the sentence, you can say 그 잔치에 가면 국수를 먹을 수 있습니다. Kimchi, kimchi. So I think this is one of the very famous Korean food around the world. So in Korea, like without kimchi, you cannot call something as a meal. Like so, every time whenever you have something, even with pizza, you can find kimchi on the table too. So in a sentence, I can say 우리 엄마는 피자를 먹을 때 김치도 함께 먹습니다. Which means that my mother eats kimchi when she's having pizza. 김치볶음밥, kimchi fried rice. When I was a kid, like in the morning, my mom is working mother still, like she's working. So she was very busy in the morning. So this 김치볶음밥 was the food that she can prepare very easily within 5 minutes. You can sometimes put something like egg on the top of the 김치볶음밥 as a topping or something like some different types of meat too. So you can have different flavor for each day. So in a sentence, we can say 아침에 바빠서 김치볶음밥을 만들었습니다. Which means that I was busy in the morning, so I made 김치볶음밥, kimchi fried rice. 김치찌개, kimchi stew. So here we have the word kimchi and 찌개, which means stew. So there are actually a lot of types of stew in Korea, and kimchi찌개 is the most popular one. So in a sentence, I can say 갈비를 다 먹고 김치찌개를 주문했습니다. That means I ordered kimchi stew after having Korean style barbecue. 냉면, cold noodle soup. 냉면, cold noodle soup. So the way to make this noodle cold is to put shaved ice over the soup. So you can have noodle and shaved ice together. So that's why it's very popular for summer, but for actually any season you can find it at a Korean restaurant. In a sentence, we can say 날씨가 더워서 오늘 저녁에는 냉면을 먹을 겁니다. Which means since it's hot today, I'm going to have cold noodle soup for dinner. 된장찌개, 된장 stew or soybean paste stew. The way we make it is kind of similar to how we make 김치찌개, kimchi stew, but with a different main item inside the soup. 식당에 가서 김치찌개 하나랑 된장찌개 하나를 주문했습니다. Which means that I ordered one kimchi stew and one soybean paste stew at a restaurant. 떡볶이, stir-fried rice cake. 떡볶이, stir-fried rice cake. So here we have the word 떡, which means rice cake, and 볶 means fried. When I was a kid, I loved that because it's spicy and it's sweet. It's very small portion, so you can have it between lunch and dinner. And it's cheap too. So for one person, like it only costs about $1 or 1,000원. In a sentence, I can say 어렸을 때 학교에서 집에 가는 길에 떡볶이를 자주 먹었습니다. Which means that I often had stir-fried rice cake when I was on the way home from school. 라면, ramen. So as you can see, it sounds very similar. Like ramen is the Japanese name of the same food. So we call it as ramen using the word 면, which means noodle. When Korean people say ramen, it means instant ramen, not some kind of Japanese style ramen. So if you find out that there's nothing to eat at home, you can simply just say 편의점에 가서 라면을 사올게, which means that I'll go to a convenience store and buy ramen. 부대찌개, army base stew. 부대찌개, army base stew. So in the past, you could have it only around the army post, but now people love the taste. So you can find the restaurant selling 부대찌개 at every corner of the city and in South Korea. 오늘 점심시간에는 직장 동료들과 부대찌개를 먹었습니다. Which means that I had the army base stew with my coworkers for lunch. 순두부찌개, raw bean curd stew. 순두부찌개, raw bean curd stew. I like the 순두부찌개 because of its texture. Like 순두부 is very soft. It tastes like pudding. So Korean people usually have 순두부찌개 with egg too, to make it a little bit less spicy. So if you don't like something spicy, I think it's kind of good tip to put something like raw egg into the soup so that it can be a little bit less spicy. These days, I think 순두부찌개 is getting more popular, so you can actually find it very easily. 오늘 순두부찌개 먹을래? Do you want to have raw bean curd stew today? Okay, that's all words about top 10 Korean foods. I hope you like some of this food and make sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요.